Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that was sent to us by our dear brother as a voice note. The message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Please, I would prefer for you to type everything down and then you read it so that people can listen to my confession. This is a warning to other fellow South Africans. This is what happened to me. I have been living and working in Johannesburg for many years. I was not unemployed. I was working in the government, working under a provincial department, and it was a stable job. But after I had lost my wife in a terrible accident, that is when I felt to recover mentally. I want to confess that in order for me to cope, I started to watch a lot of pornographic material. So I grew tired of watching all of that pornographic material until I decided to act on it. I then started staying in Hillbrow, to tell you the truth, but in a well-maintained side of Hillbrow because I wanted to be close to prostitutes. It is hard for someone to understand this, but this was my method of coping because I loved my wife. She was my everything. And really, I am an orphan. I do not have relatives because I grew up staying with my auntie and I ran away from my auntie and I came to Joburg. My auntie, she used to mistreat me a lot. I never knew my father. My mother died when she was giving birth to me. So growing up, it was very hard. When I fell in love with my wife, she became my family. But unfortunately, God then decided to just laugh at me because me and my wife, we did not have a child. By the time that my wife passed away, she had told me that she was having these symptoms which made her to think that she was pregnant. She had even said that she was going to buy a pregnant test. She had even asked me to buy a pregnant test the day earlier before she had gone to Eastern Cape. So I went to the shops and I just forgot. And to say that I forgot, maybe it might be a lie because I was afraid of having a heartbreak to buy a pregnancy test. Then you find out that it is negative. So I just said, oh, I forgot, we'll buy it another time. Because in my heart, I was like, if she is pregnant, it is far much better that we wait for the symptoms to progress. If she is vomiting, then definitely we will know that she is pregnant. So I just wanted her to go and visit relatives in the Eastern Cape. Then when she comes back, we will do the pregnancy test. As for me, I could not accompany her to the Eastern Cape. Maybe we could have died together, but she had a terrible accident and she passed away. I wish that I was the one that had died. It was far much better to even die right next to him. When she died, we buried my wife and then I moved on with my life. So by 2016, that was when I was staying in Hillbrow. Even though I had my own house, it was a freestanding house in the south of Johannesburg. It was a beautiful, solid property in a quiet suburb where houses now were selling between 1.4 to 1.7 million, depending on condition at the time. And this felt like a very big achievement for me, even though I would think about what was going to happen in the event that I die, because I did not have any child and my wife was now dead. So from the outside, I had a government job that was a tick, a house, a tick, a decent car, tick, a respectable life, tick. But I was a lonely man who was addicted to pornographic material, and I now had the habit of sleeping with prostitutes. I had to sleep with 2 or 3 prostitutes on a daily basis. Inside, I was sinking. So since I was spending most of my money on these prostitutes, at first I told myself that I was going to be able to manage sleeping with prostitutes, giving them money that won't eat much of my money. But I stopped paying some of the important bills because there were times when I just wanted three prostitutes all at once and I had to give them money. And remember, I had no business that I was running. Each and every expense that I was getting myself into, it was coming straight from my salary. So the debt that started it all, it started with the municipal debt, rates, water, electricity, penalties, interest. And I said, I'll pay it, I'll pay it. And I was now dating prostitutes. We could sleep with each other for money, but it was like she's my girlfriend. She would demand money from me. Within a very short period of time, I realized that I was owing over 50K to the municipality. It did not even sound a lot, especially when you are already servicing a bond. And I kept on telling myself that I'll pay. The letters had already started coming, final demands, threats of legal action, municipal lawyers. And then that was when I panicked because I then realized that I had fallen short of paying my credit card and every debt that I had, I was behind on my payment. So whenever my salary will go through, quickly pay the bills, left with nothing. And now I was a sex addict. Just like someone that is addicted to nyaupe, you can also be addicted to sex. If you can't sleep with a woman, it's like you are about to die. One can ask me, why was I unable to get a normal woman, a girlfriend? Yes, I would have some of those women, but the problem is that a woman who is not a prostitute, she won't let you sleep with her on a daily basis, because for me to be okay, to be high on this sex drug, I had to sleep with a woman at least for 2 hours, because I would take different types of medication. I would drink your Viagra's. I'll buy some pills from the Pakistani shops. I would even drink. There is this other herb that is called mpesu. I used to carry it with me at all the times, so that when I am with a woman, I can sleep with him for 2 hours straight on top of her, just enjoying, so that I can feel good about it. So the only kind of a woman that can let you sleep with him each and every day for 2 hours per round, it is a prostitute, because she know that it is money. Even some of the prostitutes, they used to complain, and I was so obsessed with the size of my manhood. I wanted my manhood to be so big, so that when I am entering a woman, she can act as if it is not going to fit. She is feeling a little bit of pain. So I used to enjoy that. And being around Hillbrom, there are a lot of Sangomas, your Nigerians, your Zimbabweans, your Malawians. So I then collected a pamphlet about this other healer that was from Malawi, who said that he knew how to increase the size of your manhood. I then contacted him and I told him that I wanted my manhood to be extra thick, so that when I sleep with a woman, she can scream in pain. That is how I used to enjoy. So that is what sex addiction will do to you. You would want to do things to a woman that will make her scream, so that you can enjoy even more. So this Malawian guy then told me, after I had called him, that they were working close to this other Shell garage. It was just opposite Shell garage where they were working, and if I wanted, I was supposed to go and meet with them. So then I went to the shop, and their shop, it was at the back of this other saloon. And I went there and I spoke with that man, and I told him that I wanted him to increase my size. And he gave me some herbs. Those herbs, the way that they used to work, my manhood was not permanently huge. When I would be inside of a woman, then I would feel as if there is something that is pumping blood into my manhood. It will become so thick, so much that the woman will even say that she can't continue with the love making, and I would just tell her that she needs to give it to me so that I can give her more money. So I was really enjoying. I kept on doing this, going and getting those charms, because these were charms that I could only use once, and they were expensive because the charms that he gave to me, I used to pay 300 rand for the herb that he would give me. Once you use it, you can't use it again. So I kept on going to him. One day, that was when he told me about magic money. When I got there was already another man that was living at that saloon where he used to do the consultation. He then told me that the man had recently done some magic money with him, and he was thankful for everything that he had done for him. And I said, "What is magic money?" He told me that this magic money, it is not cash appearing out of thin air, but multiplication. He said that if you want to get rich, you speak with my ancestors, but you need to have money so that my ancestors can multiply your money. He told me to try a small test. I ran to the ATM machine and I withdrew and withdrew from all of my accounts until I had gotten 5K. And then I went to him and we did what he wanted us to do, and I followed his instruction. I swear this is the truth. The money vanished in front of me. It was not stolen. It was not even taken by that man, but it just vanished. I checked my wallet thinking that maybe that was where it was. He said, "This is the confirmation. My ancestors, they have accepted you." And I felt so good. And I started to calculate that if I can get this magic money, if it returns back to me, I'll be able to even go online and to look for prostitutes that can even come to my house, because I now wanted to date your Asian prostitutes as well as your white prostitutes. When I arrived back home, I then saw that there was 10K that was there. I immediately called the Malawian guy and he said, "This is just the beginning. You're going to make more money." He then told me that the magic money that I would have made, it was not allowed to reinvest. You were supposed to spend it on women, buy whatever that you want, but you can't bring it back to his shrine. So I would always withdraw money. It's either from my salary or take a loan. Then I would go and do that magic money thing and I will just spend the money. And one day he said to me, "Small money will only give you small profit. If you want to be a big boy, you need to make sure that you sell your biggest asset." He asked me what my biggest asset was. I told him my house. He did not rush me. That is the trick. He let that idea grow inside of me. I began seeing my house not as a security, but as a capital to a better life. And then that was when I listed my house. When I listed my house, this was in the year 2018, and it sold for just over 1.3 million after fees and everything. When the money reflected, I felt dizzy. I told myself that I'll do this once, clear my debts, rebuy a better house, a mansion even, where I can bring as many prostitutes as I can. And he insisted that this money that I wanted to invest, I was not supposed to send it to his account. He did not even have a bank account, I think, but I was supposed to bring it in cash. I said, "Ayo, 1.3 million in cash. How am I going to carry around all of that money? Why can't I make a bank transfer?" He said the bank will contaminate the process and you won't be able to get your money multiplied, because by then he told me that if I give him all of the money that I had, then I was going to have about 130 million or 13 million, and it was a lot. I then started withdrawing my money. I would withdraw the money in chunks. I remember carrying traveling bags and making sure that no one sees me, and going and withdrawing. On the third day, And that was when I met this man in Yorkville, and we drove together, and I handed him over 3 bags that contained 1.3 million in cash. Like a fool, I gave 1.3 million to a Malawian guy, no receipt, no witness. And then we went to this other shrine where there was another Malawian guy, and there was a blue drum, those smaller blue plastic drums which you can fill water, and it was a small one. And then I was told to open the lid. I was then given some bond paper, and I was told to write on each and every paper and to throw those papers into that blue drum. Then they started to mix as if they were pretending that there was water that was in there. They mixed and mixed with their hands. And then they said to me, after 3 days, do not open before sunrise. When you open, you will see that there will be millions and millions of rands. They took the money. For 3 days. I could not even eat. I was nervous. I almost had a nervous breakdown. I could not go to work. I could not speak with anyone. I kept on imagining how much money I would see in that drum. So many days I was tempted to open that drum. Then, as I had been told, on day number 4, I opened it up because I could not sleep anymore. At around 3, I woke up, I waited. 4 a.m. I opened and I saw there was nothing. My brother, that was when I saw that people are evil. When I called him, his phone rang only once. Then it was like do 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 do. Then it went off. Then he never came back to me. I started driving as if I was a mad person. I first went to that saloon where we had first did the rituals, and then I went to Yeovil. I could not find the people. They told me that the person that I was looking for, they had rented the shop for a day. For a day, I was now losing my mind. I even forgot that I had a car. I started walking around on foot looking for those people, and I could not go to work. I could not do anything. I lost all of my money. I did not even have enough money to look for a proper place to stay. Now I am staying at a back room shack as I am speaking with you. Today I am trying to rebuild slowly. What I've discovered in life is that there is no magic money. And if you hear someone telling you that you can do money rituals and you can become rich, you need to be careful. I don't know how they did it, because the first amount that I gave to them, the money came back to me multiplied, and I got 10K, and I reinvested. Each and every time I would get ×2 until I gave them all of my money. So I don't know. I still have high hopes that those people, they are still somewhere. Maybe after we had finished making the deal, maybe they were hijacked. Maybe those poor people, they were killed by someone and they had their money stolen. Because why would they rob me after they had successfully showed me that they can multiply money? I would see multiplication from 5 to 10K, from 7 to 14 to 21K. That is why I had even sold my house, which I did. I wish that I had started a business with that money. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Can you imagine? If you have ever done such kind of a ritual, magic money, you can come to my inbox and share with me your side of the story.